Has the constant buzz of digital notifications ever made you feel overwhelmed? Picture this. You're in the middle of an important task and suddenly your phone buzzes. It's a social media notification, an email, a text message. The digital world is ceaselessly calling for our attention, and it's increasingly difficult to ignore. The digital connection has become an undeniable part of our daily lives. It's revolutionized the way we communicate, the way we work, and even the way we form relationships. The world is literally at our fingertips. Information, entertainment, and social interaction are available to us round the clock, and it's an incredible testament to the progress of human innovation. But every coin has two sides, and the digital connection is no exception. The constant availability of information and the relentless demand for our attention can lead to what's known as digital overload. It's like a never-ending onslaught of information, a relentless tide that can leave us feeling overwhelmed, stressed, and anxious. Digital overload isn't just a vague concept, it's a real issue that impacts our mental health. Studies have shown that excessive screen time and constant connectivity can lead to increased stress levels, anxiety, and even depression. Our minds are not built to process the sheer volume of information that the digital world throws at us every day. We're more connected than ever, but at what cost? Our mental well-being is at stake. We're constantly bombarded with information, our attention is constantly divided, and it's becoming harder and harder to find a moment of peace, a moment of quiet in the midst of the digital chaos. But what if we told you that an ancient philosophy could provide the solution to digital overload? Enter Stoicism, a philosophy that's been around for centuries. Stoicism, born in the bustling heart of ancient Greece, has been guiding minds towards tranquility and inner peace for over 2 millennia. It's not a set of rigid rules or a religious doctrine, but a way of life, a mindset that empowers its followers to lead fulfilling, meaningful lives. At the heart of Stoicism lie 3 core principles. The first is the art of differentiating between what we can control and what we cannot. This principle teaches us to invest our energy wisely, focusing on our actions, reactions, and attitudes, rather than external events or people's behavior. The second principle revolves around acceptance. Rather than fighting against the inevitable, Stoicism encourages us to accept the world as it is. This acceptance doesn't mean resignation or passivity, but a profound understanding that the world is not always fair or predictable, and that's perfectly okay. The third principle is about finding contentment within ourselves. Stoicism nudges us to look inward for happiness and fulfillment, rather than seeking them in external possessions or approval. As the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself in your way of thinking." Stoicism also encourages mindfulness, the practice of being present and fully engaged with whatever we're doing at the moment. In the words of the Stoic philosopher Seneca, we are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality. This underlines the importance of focusing on the present moment, rather than worrying about past regrets or future anxieties. In the face of digital overload, Stoicism can help us regain control and find balance. It reminds us that while we can't control the digital world around us, we can control how we interact with it, how much time we devote to it, and how much emotional energy we invest in it. So as we navigate this hyper-connected world, let's remember to apply these Stoic principles to maintain our inner peace and balance. So how exactly can Stoicism help us deal with digital overload? Stoicism, an ancient philosophy, offers a unique perspective to navigate the modern digital landscape. With the constant barrage of information, notifications, and online interactions, digital overload can often feel overwhelming. But by applying the principles of Stoicism, we can create a more mindful and balanced relationship with technology. One of the central tenets of Stoicism is acceptance. While the digital world can sometimes be a breeding ground for negativity, we can practice acceptance to mitigate its impact. Instead of reacting impulsively to every negative comment or post, we can remind ourselves that we can't control others' actions or opinions. We can only control our response to them. This practice of acceptance can help us navigate the digital world with more peace and resilience. Another Stoic principle that can be applied to digital overload is mindfulness. In a world full of distractions, it's easy to lose focus and get caught up in the endless stream of digital content. But by practicing mindfulness, we can regain control of our attention. Instead of mindlessly scrolling through social media or checking emails every few minutes, we can choose to be present and focus on the task at hand. This intentional use of technology can lead to a more productive and fulfilling digital experience. Stoicism also encourages us to reflect on our values and priorities in the context of digital overload. This could mean questioning our habitual use of technology. Do we spend time online out of habit, or does it truly align with our values and contribute to our well-being? By reflecting on these questions, we can make more conscious decisions about our digital consumption. The Stoic practice of moderation can also help us find a healthy balance in our digital lives. Instead of completely eliminating technology, which is often impractical, we can strive for a more moderate and balanced digital consumption. This could mean setting boundaries for screen time or taking regular digital detoxes to recharge and reconnect with the offline world. By applying Stoicism, we can transform our relationship with digital technology and create a more balanced life. Let's delve into what a Stoic approach to digital life might look like in practice. Imagine you're scrolling through your social media feed and you come across a negative comment about something you've posted. An immediate reaction might be to respond in kind, to defend yourself or your point of view, but a Stoic would take a step back, recognizing that they have control over their own emotions and responses. They would choose not to be disturbed by the comment. Instead, they would view it as an opportunity for growth and self-improvement. Now, consider the all-too-common phenomenon of FOMO, the fear of missing out. In our hyper-connected world, it can feel like there's always something more interesting happening somewhere else. A Stoic, however, would recognize this as a distraction from living in the present moment. They would remind themselves that they can't be everywhere at once, and that the most important thing is to fully engage with where they are and what they're doing right now. And what about those digital distractions at work, those endless notifications, emails and messages that pull us away from our tasks and disrupt our focus? A Stoic would see these not as annoyances to be battled with, but as tests of their ability to maintain tranquility and focus amidst chaos. They would set boundaries for their digital usage, perhaps designating specific times for checking emails and messages, to ensure they're using technology in a way that supports their productivity rather than hinders it. The Stoic approach is not about rejecting or avoiding the digital world, but about navigating it with wisdom and balance. It's about recognizing what we can control, our own thoughts, emotions and actions, and what we can't, the actions and opinions of others, the endless stream of digital information. It's about using technology as a tool rather than letting it use us. Stoicism isn't about rejecting technology, but about using it in a way that serves us rather than controls us. In our previous discussion, we explored the Stoic approach towards handling the digital storm. Now let's take a step further and discuss how we can achieve a mindful, balanced, and intentional relationship with technology using Stoic principles. Remember, the goal isn't to disconnect entirely from the digital world. It's about finding a balance that aligns with our personal values and aspirations. To begin with, let's consider the Stoic principle of self-awareness. This involves understanding our digital habits and their impact on us. Are we spending too much time on social media? Do we find ourselves constantly checking emails or messages? Recognizing these patterns is the first step towards changing them. Next, we have the principle of self-control. This is about setting boundaries for our digital usage. Perhaps we could designate specific times for checking our devices or limit the number of times we log on to social media each day. Then we have wisdom. This involves using technology in a way that serves us rather than controls us. For instance, we could use technology to learn new things, to connect with loved ones, or to pursue our passions. But we should avoid becoming so engrossed in the digital world that we neglect our real-world relationships and responsibilities. Finally, we have courage. This is about having the strength to make changes even when they're difficult or uncomfortable. It might feel strange at first to limit our digital usage, especially if we're used to being constantly connected. But with time and practice, we can develop a healthier, more balanced relationship with technology. So, as we navigate the digital storm, let's remember these Stoic principles. They can guide us towards a more mindful, balanced, and intentional relationship with technology, one that serves us rather than controls us. In the hyper-connected world, Stoicism isn't about disconnecting, it's about finding the right balance.